Grade 7 learners, welcome to third quarter, week 1 of our online learning. Let us all feel the presence of our Lord Jesus Christ through the DepEd Philippines prayer. All together, greatest of all teachers and giver of love, hope, faith, and wisdom, look upon your children, the learners, teachers, parents, guardians, and out-of-school youths and adults. We humbly ask for your mercy and forgiveness. Guide us to the right path. May our efforts be blessed with insights and understanding, wisdom and respect for all. Bless us with patience, for the path of learning is never easy. Bless our commitment to keep on learning new knowledge and experiences. Let your light shine upon us as we make our world a better place to live in. Amen. Welcome back, dear students! Last week was our completion week, but you still have this week to still complete all the other activities that you are not able to submit. So again, if you're able to submit 1 or 2 activities in a particular module, you can still submit others that are not yet submitted na. And again, these are your activities from your written works from your module 1 to 7, and these are your tasks for your quarter 2 performance tasks. Your video presentation of your print and non-print sources, your summative tests, and your participation for second quarter activities or recitation and modular completion. Welcome to third quarter. So today we are going to discuss your module 1. The module is about the use of multimedia resources. Again, so when we say multimedia, it refers to the usage of your radio, television, your gadget, internet, and the like in giving information, instructions, making explanations, and narrating personal or factual events. At the end of the discussion, you are expected to share information about recent information learned from the discussion, enumerate significant key points or lessons relevant to our present situation, perform and submit the assigned tasks completely and timely. And fourth, cite the general values presented during the accomplishment of each activity. For your pre-assessment, you are asked to identify whether the following statements from the given multimedia resources are true or false. Are you ready? Let's begin. Statement number 1. The cost of vaccines for priority groups will not be shouldered by the Philippine government. I repeat, the cost of vaccines for priority groups will not be shouldered by the Philippine government. True or false? Type in your answer or write it in your answer sheet. Number 2, vaccines differ in their composition and how they trigger the immune response to create antibodies. Vaccines differ in their composition and how they trigger the immune response to create antibodies. True or false? Statement number 3. Continue observing the minimum public health standards to aggravate further transmission of the virus. Number 3, continue observing the minimum public health standards to aggravate further transmission of the virus. True or false? Statement number 4. The frontline were health workers, senior citizens, indigent indigent population, and uniformed personnel are not the priority groups to be vaccinated. The frontline health workers, senior citizens, indigent population, and uniformed personnel are not the priority groups to be vaccinated. True or false? Statement number 5. The government is currently in the advanced stages of negotiations with various vaccine manufacturers. The government is currently in the advanced stages of negotiations with various vaccine manufacturers. True or false? You still have 2 more minutes to finish answering this. So we're going to check it after our discussion of your Module 1. So let's see if your answers are correct. So now let us learn the usage of multimedia. Analyze examples of multimedia resources. Identify them, whether giving information, explanation, narrating, and so forth. So let's proceed now with your lesson 1. Your lesson 1 is about giving information, instructions, making explanations, and narrating events in personal or factual events. Before we proceed with this one, let's try to recall what does these words mean or phrases mean and how do they differ from each other. What does giving information mean? How about instruction, making explanation, narrating events in personal or factual events? Basically, all of them are giving details. Now, the difference is the details that they give. When we say giving information, it is providing factual details or of particular concern or topic. When we are giving an instruction, we are giving direction or guide for something to be done or accomplished or performed. So in giving information, you are providing details. But in instruction, you are already giving direction or guide wherein you are to accomplish that instruction. That's why you're given instruction or direction, because you're going to perform that instruction. Next is making an explanation. When you say making an explanation, you are discussing things that need to be cleared out for understanding and proper dissemination of information purposes. So it's somewhat similar also with giving information, but aside from giving information, you are clearing ideas for understanding and proper dissemination of information. Next is narrating events. In narrating events, it is being done by a narrator or an author who experienced personally about a situation or event in reality and is supported by his personal demonstration of what has really happened. So for example, right now, we are discussing this types of giving details. So what am I doing right now? Is it giving information, instruction, making explanation, or narrating an event? It is? Okay. Giving information and at the same time making an explanation. So more of making an explanation. We are discussing things that need to be cleared out for understanding and proper dissemination of information. But later on, when we are going to discuss already the activities or the tasks that you're going to do, then that's already giving an instruction. Very good, class. Okay, let's explore. So in here, you are to view this content. So there's a link here. You are going to view this. Now that content Try to identify, is it giving information, instruction, narrating an event, or explanation? Okay, so let's read this facts. Okay, so you have a clue there, giving facts. Na? So meaning it is giving this questions, they are giving information. How do vaccines prevent disease? Okay, so let us read. Vaccines mimic the virus or bacteria that causes disease and triggers the body's creation of antibodies. These antibodies will provide protection once a person is infected with the actual disease-causing virus or bacteria. So therefore, it acts as an antibody. How do vaccines differ? Vaccines differ in their composition and how they trigger the immune response to create antibodies. These antibodies protect the body from microorganisms and serve as protection once a person gets infected with disease. Vaccine can be inactivated, weakened, or killed. Copies of the whole or part of the virus or bacteria. So that is how it works. No? It either weakens or kills the part or whole of the virus or bacteria. Or genetic product like mRNA vaccines that creates protein copies without causing disease. What are possible side effects of vaccination? So there is an effect. So what are these? The possible side effects of a vaccine includes pain, redness, itchiness, or swelling at the injection site, which may last a few hours. There is possible effect also such as fever, feeling of weakness or fatigue, headache, dizziness, diarrhea, or nausea. Consult the nearest healthcare professional if you experience any of this. Is vaccination mandatory? Meaning, everybody is supposed to get a vaccine? The answer is no. Vaccination is not mandatory, but the government highly encourages the public to get vaccinated and be protected against the preventable disease. Preventable, which means that it is possible that we are not going to have that disease if we are vaccinated. Why do we need to get vaccinated for COVID-19? With the BDE steps and observance of minimum public health standards, vaccination is an important way to protect yourself from getting severe COVID-19. When will the COVID-19 vaccine be available? Is it available already in the Philippines? The government is currently in the advanced stages of negotiations with various vaccine manufacturers. We expect the first vaccine supply to arrive in the first quarter of 2021. And now it's already March, going to April. And we have seen already in news that there are already batches of vaccines that have arrived in our country, and the vaccination of frontliners such as the army and the health workers have already begun. What is an emergency use authorization or EUA? Everybody say it again. Emergency Use Authorization, it is an authorization granted through a risk-based procedure for assessing unregistered under development vaccines or drugs during public health emergencies of international concern. It aims to expedite availability of the vaccine or drug to people affected by public health emergency based on essential set of available quality, safety, and efficiency performance data. Who will get the vaccines first? Okay, so mentioned also earlier, frontline health workers, senior citizens, indigent population, and uniformed personnel are the priority groups to be vaccinated. So don't worry, children. Uh, you are not the first to be vaccinated. Before you, there are a lot of Filipinos who will be vaccinated first before you. Na? Now, why will the prioritized groups get the vaccine first? Why should they be the first to get the vaccine? With the initial limited supply, so that is one reason, there's a limited supply. Frontline health workers and uniformed personnel are prioritized since they have higher risk of exposure while on duty and to allow them to continue fulfilling their duties in both the public and private sectors. Vulnerable groups such as the elderly and the indigent population are prioritized guided by the principle of equity, pantay-pantay. Vulnerable groups, vulnerable, which means that most likely they will be easily affected the the virus. Why? Because elderly, they are their immune system is not that strong compared to younger people or younger ages. That's why they are considered as vulnerable groups. Therefore, they also need to be vaccinated first. Now, can I purchase the vaccine from private clinics or pharmacies? So for example, I am not a government or a frontliner, but I want to purchase a vaccine and be vaccinated at once. Is it possible? The answer is no. You cannot purchase COVID-19 vaccines from private clinics or pharmacies. At present, only the government is duly authorized to procure and administer vaccines until a full market authorization is issued by the Philippine FDA. Any COVID-19 vaccine should not be sold to the public. Is the vaccine free for priority groups? Is it free? Is it free for the priority groups that mentioned earlier? The cost of vaccines for priority groups will be shouldered by the Philippine government. So what is the answer here? The answer is yes, it is shouldered by the government. If I am not part of the priority group, how? How will I get access to the vaccine? The government is continuing negotiations to ensure adequate vaccine supply for all Filipinos, including those not in the priority group. So, our government is continuously working on to be able to ensure that all Filipinos will be able to have a vaccine in time. So, are the COVID-19 vaccines safe and effective? So, COVID-19 vaccines that are granted with Emergency Use Authorization or EUA by the Food and Drug Administration are considered safe and effective based on the available evidence to date. So, based on the evidence says it is safe and effective. But, as what we have mentioned earlier, there are side effects, but it is safe and effective. So there's a side effect, but after some time, you will be able to overcome the side effects with proper rest, and you have to go through a test first if you are clear to take the vaccine. So it is not at once that you are just going to be vaccinated. You still have to go through tests before you will be vaccinated. You are clear for vaccination. Are there risks for complications when given the vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine? Is there a risk? Yes, like all other vaccines, there are risks of complications, but severe or life-threatening reactions are extremely rare. So it is not common that there will be a life-threatening reaction. So, like you're just going to have fever, redness, but you are going to overcome that after some time. No? The benefit of protection against severe COVID-19 is greater than the risks. Anyone who will get the vaccine will be properly evaluated. So there's an evaluation first and closely monitored by health professionals to further minimize any risk. What can we do while waiting for the vaccine? So we urge the public to be more vigilant with the information found online. Let us make it a habit to fact check and verify with reliable sources. Now, and what are these sources? DOH Facebook page, DOH website, World Health Organization website, PIA website. So regarding new information, continue observing the minimum public health standards to prevent further transmission of the virus. So this is our reference for these informations and facts.
I hope you have learned relevant
Now,
information about that
click
article.
the link to show a Filipina nurse. So there is a link here. So I try to identify again, always na whether that link will show or give you information, instruction, making an explanation, or narrating an event, personal or factual event. So try to analyze that link or that you're going to click. So showing a Filipino nurse who was vaccinated with Pfizer vaccine. So what happened to her after she was vaccinated with that vaccine? Now, in your activity in here, so from the pool of names of vaccines below, identify from them those which are already given authorization and recommendation to be used in the United States and other parts of the world and which are under phase 3 clinical trials. So you're going to draw this table in your English notebook, of course, and then identify which of this vaccine is under authorized and recommended vaccine and under phase 3 clinical trials. So you can use also the following links in here to be able to check your facts or answers if correct. Next activity, again, based on the facts that you have viewed or the links that you have viewed and the ones that we have read earlier. So again, identify the meaning of the following acronyms.
Okay, so I hope you have learned a lot from the relevant key points or lessons from the article that we have read, which are relevant to our current situations. So now let's dig in with another article in here by Sandy Lamotte from CNN, updated in January 25, 2021. It tells us what to do, not to do before and after your COVID vaccine shot. So let us read this article to learn more about this topic. Now, get your vaccine when it's your turn. So if you have your schedule ready, then go get your vaccine. It's chaos as older people struggle to get COVID-19 vaccine. Here is what we can do. You should be able to find out when it's your turn to be vaccinated. How to register in your neighborhood by reaching out to your state. So Taguig, Trace. So that is what we use. CNN has created a list of state website, emails, and phone numbers for all 50 states and territories. Check there for information on available vaccine registrations in your local area. So our area is Taguig. So for those who are not in Taguig, so you may check the local area websites in your municipality. Don't let disinformation or vaccines cloud your judgment. Social media is rife with disinformation about COVID-19 and the vaccines that are available to prevent it. So make sure that your sources are reliable. Do get vaccine if you're already get vaccine if you've already had COVID-19. So if in case you have been infected already,
and you got well, the more that you need to be vaccinated na. So reinfection with COVID-19 is definitely possible. The CDC says so everyone needs to get coronavirus vaccination, including those who have already had the illness. Note, if you were given monoclonal antibodies or convalescent plasma while sick with COVID-19, you should wait 90 days, meaning at least 3 months after treatment before getting the vaccine, the CDC advises. Check with your doctor before scheduling the shot. Don't get a shot if you don't get a vaccine if you're currently having COVID-19 or you have been exposed na. If you have tested positive for COVID-19 or have been exposed to someone who has the illness, you should not go to the vaccination site to get your shot until your symptoms and isolation period have passed. So you have to go through the isolation. No? Since you have been exposed or you currently have COVID-19, please do not go to the vaccination site, said Dr. Michael Eason, a professor in the Division of Infectious Diseases and Organ Transplantation at Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine. Do get the shot even if you still have COVID symptoms months later. So, let's say you have been tested negative and yet you still have the symptoms of COVID. You can get a shot already if you are tested negative. A growing number of people are becoming coronavirus long haulers. People who continue to suffer fatigue, brain fog, aches, pains, headaches, and more for months after the virus has left their systems. You can get the vaccine since you are negative already with the COVID. Even if you still have the symptoms or long haulers of COVID symptoms. Don't let your ongoing reactions keep you from getting the shot, said vaccine scientist Dr. Peter Hotez, professor and dean at the National School of Tropical Medicine at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston. Don't get another type of vaccine within 14 days of the COVID-19 shot. Wait at least 14 days before or after getting another vaccine, including a flu or shingles shot to get COVID-19 vaccination, the CDC says. So meaning, you're gonna get another shot after 14 days. So, or after 2 weeks. So, for example, you got your first dose today. After 2 weeks or 14 days, you're going to have your second shot of vaccine. However, if you inadvertently did get another vaccine within that 2-week time frame, you should complete the COVID-19 series of schedule. As more information on how vaccines interact becomes available, the CDC says it may update this guidance. So we need to read this guide and then try to follow the guidance that are given by the CDC. Do tell vaccine staff about any allergies. If you have any allergies, be honest about it, or past allergic reactions on any particular medicine that you took before or vaccine that you took before. It's rare, but a few people have had moderate to severe allergic reactions after being given the Moderna and Pfizer mRNA vaccines. So, be sure to tell the nurse at the vaccination site about any past allergic reactions. COVID cases remain lowest among younger children, even after schools reopened, study says. So, since schools were not that open yet, so COVID cases among children are low, but now that schools are starting to open or have face-to-face, so the more that we need to be vaccinated for us to at least have protection or to make our body stronger. If you do have a history of immediate or severe allergic reactions to vaccines or other injections, try to have an EpiPen on hand, said Dr. Saju Matthew, an Atlanta-based primary care physician and public health specialist. I remember whenever we had our shot of vaccine, na right after we are given the vaccine, I take already paracetamol just in case na, so better prevention than cure, as they say na. So before body pains gets me or fever gets me, I already took pain reliever before na, so that I will not feel the pain. Okay, so don't drive away before your 15 to 30-minute wait is up. So don't go away right after you have been vaccinated. Instead, take your rest first. Na? The CDC requires that everyone receiving a coronavirus vaccination wait 15 minutes in their car or the waiting area before driving away. If you have a history of severe allergic reactions, you'll be required to wait 30 minutes, most especially to be sure that you are safe. Both are minor inconvenience, expert says, compared to the dangers of an adverse reaction of dizziness or worse while driving. So the more that it is hard if you are the one driving, so you have to really take up to 15 to 30 minutes rests or observation of yourself of what is the reaction that your body has for the vaccine. Common reactions to the vaccines are soreness and swelling at the injection site. Sometimes, more typically, after the second shot, people may experience such COVID-like signs such as fever, fatigue, headache, and chills. So that's normal. Do get your second shot at vaccine within the recommended time frame. So again, after 14 days or after 2 weeks. Getting a second shot of the vaccine is needed to be sure that you have protection, according to Baylor's HOTES. Continue wearing masks and practicing social distancing after your shots. Even if you are fully vaxxed already, please continue doing so. Continue to wear your mask and practice appropriate social distancing after both your first and second doses of vaccine, the CDC says. The first dose will not produce enough of an immune response to protect you or others. That's why the doctor even says that stay at home after your vaccine. It is not going to protect you. So, after 2 weeks, it will still take over to your body, so it will still take process so the second dose should provide approximately 95% protection within 1 or 2 weeks after administration so depending on the vaccine. However, the CDC says even after you are fully vaccinated, you may still be a silent carrier of the coronavirus disease. That's why you need to you need to observe yourself also. We don't yet know whether getting a COVID-19 vaccine will prevent you from spreading the virus that causes COVID-19 to other people, the CDC says. So, to protect others, continue to wear a mask over your nose and mouth, stay at least 6 feet away from others, avoid crowds and crowded and poorly ventilated spaces. And of course, wash your hands often for at least 20 full seconds. The CNN, Jacqueline Howard contributed to this report. So again, with regards to the washing hand, there are a lot of videos on how to wash your hands properly. So I'd like you to search more about that one to learn more on proper hand washing. To learn more about these informations, you can visit this link. So now let's proceed with your tasks, other tasks from your Module 1. Next activity in here, you are asked to write if the given statement is instruction or not an instruction. So if it is instruction, again, it is giving direction or guide for something to be done, accomplished, or performed. And if it is not an instruction, then you write S. Simply write S, meaning it's a simple sentence only. It is not giving an instruction. So again, you're going to send it to me, answer in your English notebook. Now, let's have these articles. No? So you are asked to read these articles, no, for you to be able to understand more about the different variants. So we have learned from the news that there are now different variants of COVID-19. So as of the moment, it is mentioned in the news that there are now 4 variants of COVID-19. So please read these articles. Okay, so you can check out also again this link for more information about these articles. And then after you read that article, you're going to, in your notebook, give the difference between COVID-19 from Wuhan and the new COVID-19 variant from UK based on the ones that we have read and based on the pictures below. No? So write your answer in one paragraph with at least 5 sentences to be able to get your 5 points. No? So again, you're going to answer your Let's Apply activity in your notebook. Take a picture and send it to me.
For your final task, now let's evaluate. You are asked to give your reflection and give your insight about this one. So if you're asked, or if you will be asked to be vaccinated for free. So right now, our government are encouraging parents to have their children vaccinated 5 years old and above. So what will be your stand as a grade 7 learner? Will you agree or disagree to be vaccinated? So explain your side on this. So again, answer in your English notebook since your module is not yet available, and then send a photo of your outputs in my messenger. So that's it. Those are your activities for your third quarter, Module 1. Again, all activities, you are to send a photo of your outputs in my messenger. And for your advanced assignment, please research for our next topic, that is stance and behavior. Define what is stance and behavior and give examples of appropriate stance and behavior when delivering a message or delivering a speech. So expect that by next week, you are going to have your delivering speech performance activity. For more information, you may visit the following links. These are used in your third quarter Module 1 lesson. Thank you so much for attending our online classes. Please stay safe. God bless you all. Bye, everyone.